Remember though, also by making it public, putting it into the coffers of the county government, they benefit from reaping the benefits of all the insurances and government subsidies that go into picking up indigent, people that can't afford an ambulance ride. And the county even concedes that more than half the ambulance rides are for non-emergencies. In fact, they even suggested transporting these people on a Votran bus, which kind of cracked me up. Go ahead, Bobby.
I recently had a personal instance. A loved one in my house had to be transported to the local hospital, Birdfish. Could not transport her. She had fractures in her spine. So the fire department responded. Shortly thereafter, they called for evac. The hospital is approximately 2 miles from my doorstep. They charged me $600 to take her 2 miles. Now, okay, luckily we have insurance and we'll pay the balance that isn't covered. What do you do if you don't have that insurance? How can they have the audacity to charge us when we're paying for this to begin with, $600 for this transport? Should have been, in my eyes, since it's taxpayer supported, we all are paying for it, the charge should have been zippo. But that's not what the county wanted to happen. Again, let's put more employees under our umbrella so that we can have more administrators. We should be getting charged nothing for evac service since now we took it over. That's the way I see it.
Well, I think you're right, and not only that, but the reason they had a big brouhaha in Wisconsin is because Governor Walker said, I want to stop collective bargaining for state union employees. And that passed, and people were very happy about it. It's going to happen around the country. Last week, a little city in California filed for bankruptcy, voided all the union contracts, voided everything, and they get to start from scratch. And everyone is going to reach that point. This is not just a few people here and a few people there. Every city is going to have to rein in costs, but they just can't seem to do it.
Go ahead, Steve.
I've been told that the budget for the county has increased an average of $41 million per year for each of the past 10 years.
I'd go with that.
Now, I can't confirm that it's true. I haven't researched it myself. That's what I was told. But I think it would be very interesting to actually do that research, and I think I will, and also see what the county debt is, and if that's been increasing. It would also be interesting to see what the numbers of county employees are, and the degree to which that has been increasing over the past 10 years. I've also been told that one of the extraordinary deficits the county faces in revenue is the result of its excessive removal of property under the name of Volusia Forever or Echo or whatever, various forms of sustainable development, but taking a great deal of property off the tax rolls. Right now, something in excess of 35% of the total land area of Volusia County is in one of these protected programs or another, and that money from the tax rolls is now no longer available to the county. But nothing has been done other than efforts to raise taxes here and there. Nothing has been done to find a fresh revenue stream to offset that loss. It's a recipe for disaster over the longer term.
Sally?
You can get all those answers at VolusiaTaxReform.com. They have researched everything. They know every figure for every city, for the whole county, for everything that you want to know. Volusia Tax Reform. And they're working all the time to show the public where the money goes, how much more money is spent than there is income. It's a great source, VolusiaTaxReform.com.
Margie Paget
Yes.
is one of the co-founders along with Maureen France, and one of their experts is a gentleman named Ed Connor of Woman Beach, and I've spoken with him. In fact, he writes a blog for us. And it's just incredible, the growth of government. It makes you wonder, if you're having this mishmash, why not just have county government that covers all of the area locally, or not have county government at all, and have the cities annex the properties that are unincorporated? I mean, what's the difference? It's almost like there's a layer and a half of government. We're not county, but we're paying county. We're city, but we're, what do you think about that, Bobby? I know there are issues about home rule and...
You're still going to need some type of county oversight. Because anytime you get a group of cities like we have, we're all the same fish.
Well, but look at, you can't even get enough people to run for for municipal governments. Why not have a county-wide government where you have local representation, you have X number of people that represent a territorial area? I mean, as it is
But I thought that's what
now.
they did with the district. You know, Josh Wagner is in District 2. Joyce Cusack is in her district.
But how
At
far
large.
removed are these districts, how far removed are these county council members from us, from our communities as a
Well, as far as
whole?
I'm concerned, they live on another planet, because they don't listen to the reality of what we're trying to tell them. Government doesn't make money, they take money. They never think through what is going to be the consequence of spending all this money. And somebody said that in 2005, they had this huge revenue stream. I apparently thought it was going to go on forever.
Well,
And it doesn't, it never does.
let's wrap up this segment looking at this issue here. You've got, in city of New Smyrna Beach as a litmus test, as an example, you've got 10 firefighter positions gone in the last 3 to 4 years. You've got 10 police officer positions gone in the last 3 to 4 years. What do you have as a result? Massive overtime. You have firefighters, battalion chiefs that are making more than a fire chief by as much as $20,000 to $30,000.
Why do you think governments do that?
Well, again, it's the issue of the unions are crying they want raises, but in the meantime, they're overly compensated by overtime. And what does that overtime do? It increases their pension contributions.
Absolutely.
One of the shocking things, Bobby, and you could probably elaborate on this a little more, that I discovered just in the last couple of weeks is that not 1, not 2, not 3, not 6, not 8, 10 firefighters in New Smyrna Beach, all of whom make at least in excess of 70 to 80,000 minimum, are in the drop program.
Oh, no.
Each of them is going to end up with approximately a third of $1 million each in pensions, in addition to their regular fire pension. How can we sustain? I think the studies are clear. You cannot sustain these pension funds. So, Bobby, what can we do in New Smyrna Beach? You're the watchdog. You're the one that's out there screaming.
It gets very difficult because so much of the information is protected. You're not even allowed to know who's on the drop program. That's not available.
It's obvious that there is a spending and taxing problem in Volusia County.
There we go.
There is an overspending problem, there is an overtaxing problem, and that has to mean there are misallocation of resources. The problem that you pointed out is only one element of it, and it is not just at the county level, but it's also at the various city levels where these pension programs are set up. If New Smyrna is indebted beyond its capacity to repay for pensions, I promise you Port Orange is in the same position, Daytona Beach probably, and any number of the other 16 cities within Volusia County. It's something that's worth doing. The people need to know there's an election coming up, and the folks really need to know they need to have a basis for informing themselves, a source from which they can get this information easily. How bad off are we?